Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about rumors. Let's talk about facts.
We gon' talk about life. We gon' talk about death. Romance, finances, generational wealth.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Hello,
Everybody.
hello. I am Marsha E. Dudley,
And I am Etoya Lewis.
and welcome to.
Let's talk about it.
All right, so y'all, I am super. When I tell you super excited about tonight's conversation, I am like crunk. Okay,
Why? Why are you so excited?
because this topic that we're talking about tonight
It's important.
is important because I plan on tearing down some stereotypes tonight.
Oh, come on and tear down some stuff.
Yes,
Like,
shedding a light on a lot of things now. That's what my plan is.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, I like that. When y'all get in, let us know you're here.
Yes, say hey.
Hey, Mrs. Parker.
Let's see here. Oh, wow. All right. Look at there. We see
They're
y'all.
coming in.
Yeah. Come on in the room. Come on in the. Hey. That's Rakia.
See, I said that wrong. That's the reason why I tapped you. I knew you knew who that was and how you say that.
That's my cousin.
Oh, but you know what? That is key. I mean, all day.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, y'all, again, tonight's conversation is extremely important. I think.
Hi, Megan.
Hey, Megan. So
Wait, can we pause for the cause? Because
Yes.
we didn't do this last week because you put out that someone was sick. And then we didn't do it the week before because we were in New York.
We were in New York having
Living our best life.
y'all. We missed y'all, but y'all don't understand. When I tell you I had an awesome time in New York, oh my God. Did y'all not see us on The View? Baby, we are famous. Y'all
You
better
see
Google us.
You see it.
Okay. So, you want to start off?
It doesn't matter.
Why don't you
Okay.
start?
So can we start off with the Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
Because that was the first thing that I saw. So everyone knows that Creed 3 is out.
Mhm.
And there's been a lot of promo for the movie.
Mhm.
Michael B. Jordan stars in it, and he also produced it
Mhm.
or directed or whatever he did. He
Yeah.
was behind the scenes as well. And Jonathan Majors is his co-star. Well, there had been a lot of memes or little different things that they put out about, oh, they're too cozy with one another. They're hugging each other. They're loving on each other. They're being brotherly. The same thing happened when Black Panther came out as well with Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan.
Mhm.
So the question is there such thing as being too brotherly where the lines are crossed? So a lot of the comments under the pictures were like, oh, they look suspect, or oh, it was always something. For every picture that they took, it was something. Even the pictures that Jonathan Majors took for, like, I don't know if it was Vogue, he did this photo shoot and they had him dressed like a anime character. I don't know anything about anime.
Mhm.
But they also, somebody shared the picture of the anime character and he embodied it. It was pretty dope.
Mhm.
But he looks suspect.
Yeah.
Can men not have any emotion? Can they not display something other than protector?
Call it what it is. Call it what people are seeing that it is. That they have too much femininity. That they don't have they're not masculine enough. And that was what a lot of the comments were with that. Michael B. Jordan and what's
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors are extremely feminine. And
there was another one where the girl posted. Now I feel like I need to read exactly what she said because it was real disrespectful.
But I shared in our group, in the Black Wealth Ambassadors group, all those different posts that they were making about Michael B. Jordan, and they was just talking about, him being extremely feminine. And I think that that's something that, like I said, I think that's something that we need to talk about in our group.
Okay, so it says Michael B. Jordan is cute, but doesn't have any edge. He just looked, I don't know, responsible. He looked like he know where the birth certificate at. What? I don't even understand the concept of what she's getting at. Like,
what she's basically saying is that he looks real green. She apparently she likes a man that if she have a kid by him, he ain't gonna know what the birth certificate is. That's what I took from it.
He's not even gonna be there to take responsibility for a kid.
Exactly.
That's sad though. Like, it's sad that that's where our minds go. So Will says, that's powerful. I love to see it. No such thing. We need to normalize that. So I guess men showing each other affection or whatever. Megan says, people's minds are corrupt. Carlos says, it's sad, but this is the society that we live in. And unfortunately, people do and say things for attention.
But I really think in the Black community, we're not saying that for attention. No. I think that those are things that we truly believe in. We tend to, if we see a man who is extra loving, extra soft, we automatically say he's too feminine. I think that we're all in our 40s. We come up in a generation where boys could not cry. Oh, you don't cry. You be a man. Fix your face. You be a man. But now you have all these men that don't know how to, that they have a wife, they have relationships, but they have to be taught to love and to show that softness. When I think that if we normalize, when we have boys, men, hug your boys, kiss your boys,
tell them I love you.
Yes.
I feel like Will says, we have to normalize that.
Yes, I really believe that. And the only reason why I say that is because my brother's not in this group, so I ain't worried about him. Nobody saying nothing.
Hold
I can
on.
say what I want. But
don't worry, you guys.
I grew up. My daddy was extremely. When I say a man, he was a man. My brother, he was extremely hard on my brother, and I think that some of the issues that my brother had was because he didn't have someone who loved. My daddy loved us, but he was extremely hard.
He didn't show any type of sensitive love.
And now I'm fixing to go deeper. When I look at my daddy's side of the family, they were not very touchy-feely. They were not very loving. When my mama had me, my mama made her side of the family is very touchy-feely and loving. When we get off the phone, we could have just hung up, get back on the phone and talk again. We're gonna say I love you. We're gonna hug. We're gonna kiss. My brother got that on her side of the family, but he didn't get it on my dad's side of the family. It's like when we were little, I would get up in my granddaddy's lap. He was loving, but my grandmama didn't want all that hugging and kissing. No, you're gonna hug me, you're gonna kiss me. And I just think that when you don't do that to your kids, your kids tend to grow up and be these really, really hard people.
I think if they stay in the environment, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I can only speak for self. Like we
Mhm.
didn't really grow up like that either, where we
Mm-hmm.
hugged like now we do it.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up, I don't recall just giving people hugs and saying I love you and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, I called my sister the other day and I said, I just called to tell you I love you. She was like, what? Which is so weird. But I read something and the girl was saying how she told her friend that she loves her, and her friend got kind of upset, like, what you mean you love me?
Mm-hmm.
And she said the realization of they never really shared that with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And when she did, because she just was like, oh, I just love you.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl, she said whatever. And she was like, we got to normalize letting
Mhm.
each other know how we feel about each other, whether it's, a
Yeah.
simple I love you. We can hug each
Mhm.
other when we see each other. Why can't we tell each other I love you? I'm not hugging you just because.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I called my sister to tell her that, she was like, I don't hear that from you.
Yeah.
I said, I know. And I never
Yeah.
realized it until I read that post. Like,
Yeah.
that's my sister. And I don't never really
Yeah.
say it. Like, I see you and I give you a big hug. I kiss you. I do all kinds of things like that. But I never even thought about it.
And that's real. So going back to men, do you think that there's an issue where if a man, like I even made a post where men, they go get pedicures and manicures. Do you think there's anything wrong with that?
No, I don't see anything wrong with
Mhm.
that. Some people look at them and, they used to call them metrosexual.
Metrosexual.
But I don't. Okay, so
Yeah, we got a lot.
it's a lot happening right here. Carlos says, I don't believe that, Marsha,
Mm.
because most of these people making these comments and sharing these memes and thoughts are Black women. No, it was a lot of Black men. Ignorance is a thing. Hateful people say hateful things.
Mm-hmm.
Will says, I agree. It's not being feminine. You don't have to run around being brolic at all times. You have to be able to be both.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 girls and I'm showing a sensitive side a lot. You have no choice, sir. Not weakness nor femininity. I will also caveat that by saying my son and daughters knows the difference and that it's a David Banner and Hulk relationship within. Okay, David says, Jesus. I think that
David has a bunch of boys. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that emotional IQ, EQ is very important. The ability to understand, use, and manage your own emotions in positive ways to relieve stress, communicate effectively, empathize with others, and overcome challenges and diffuse conflict is very important. It is.
So
it's very important.
Carlos, you and David y'all have boys, and you have a bunch of boys. I do you think that it would be okay if one of the things talked about men crying, if you saw your son crying, would that be an issue for you?
Could you take it?
Yeah,
because I feel sometimes that's the problem.
Yeah,
because you have to be the man all the time.
Yeah,
you have to go hard. You got to protect. You got to, everybody's looking at you, the strength and the courage and all this other stuff. That's what they're looking at. So when something happens and your son breaks down because he feels life is getting hard or he's going through something that the only emotion he can put out is tears. Like, how do you handle it?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay, Joe said, Joe. Vic says, I used to think things like manicures and pedicures were not for men, but now I don't see a problem with it. So why did you think that though? I mean, I need to know, because grooming needs to happen for everyone.
And that's what I used to try and tell him. I used to tell him, I said, you're not less than a man by going to get your toe, grooming getting a manicure and getting your toes. I said, that's not less than a man. I said, that means that you're taking care of yourself. And then I told him, I said, as we get money, we gonna do that because we're gonna do that because
Massages.
you're not gonna be out here with no regular feet and regular and toe up hands. Okay. So
David says, not at all. My sons have seen me cry.
yeah. Yeah. I think and you want to know something? I think men that have boys, I think that your boys should be able to see you be vulnerable. That you shouldn't just teach them to be hard workers, do this and that. You should also teach your boys how to be vulnerable. And I think that that's what's wrong, that we live in this society that men have no space to be vulnerable. Men actually have no space to do. Y'all don't have a lot of places where you can go and release. Women, right. We have 1,001 places to go,
and we have friends that we can lean on.
Yes,
and they'll cry with us.
Yes,
and it's okay.
Yes, but men internalize everything, and they don't get all that crap out, and so sometimes you can become a toxic man. But anyway. What?
Go ahead. Go.
I'm just saying, because I love men. I love men, and I love to see Black men be great. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's more than just paying bills, being hard, doing this and that. I have girls, and I teach Janaya. I said, you have to watch how a man treats his mama. The way he, does he open up the door? Is he able to be vulnerable with you? I said, that stuff matters. I said, because when you get in a serious relationship, if he does not know how to be vulnerable with you, it's hard, because I've been in relationships where they're just manly men. They don't know how to be vulnerable with you.
Carlos says, I've always told my boys that it's okay to cry because that's a form of decompressing. I think being raised by my mom gave me an advantage, which allowed me to be more compassionate and understanding toward my sons. Vic says, the men where we're from always clowned us and called us soft.
Yeah.
So I stayed away from it. I think that it's horrible that we have to live our lives based off of how other people feel. Mm-hmm. I think that it doesn't do us any type of justice, service, anything to have to subdue the things that we want to do. That just makes no sense to me. Mm-hmm. I don't care what. Let me give them something to talk about. That's always been me.
But then we have to, as we talk about the men and being vulnerable, we also have to look at women, and we have to sit here and we got to talk about them, because they're, for a woman to talk about a man being vulnerable, a man just being happy and being himself, and her issue is that, oh, he looks responsible. To me, she has trauma and she hasn't healed.
Right.
Because
her dad obviously wasn't the dad she needed.
Yes. And we have so many women like that don't have people don't understand this whole daddy thing. Yeah, we have mamas raising, but when I tell you that it's so important to have a man in the house, that man being present not only in that boy's life, but in that girl's life. Because when a woman would rather have a man that talk crazy to her than a man that
toxic,
that toxic love. But she don't want a man who's gentle with her, who it's like a lot of women they used to say they love bad boys. Why?
I like the idea of just having somebody who don't kind of like. I just want you to look like that. I don't want you to actually be that, though. All right.
I want you to look like you'll pop me in my eye, but I don't want you to pop me in my eye.
Because then we're going to have the first 48 happening. Oh, my God. No, but I was thinking, Steve Harvey has a bad rap for his emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And he always says, I've held stuff in my whole life. I don't want to hold it in.
Yeah.
If I feel like crying, I'm going to cry. Something you have to, sometimes when you go through things,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes tears are the only thing that comforts you.
That's
I know.
good.
I know.
That's good.
But I don't want to be comforted by my tears. But some men, that's all they have, and because they're alone.
Yeah.
They have nobody else. All they have are their tears.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to take those tears and it's either going to depress them or it's going to motivate them to be better.
Mm-hmm.
One or the other.
Yeah. And I think that, men look at men, and I think some of them are envious of Michael B. Jordan, that he can be with this guy and they show love to one another, whatever, because there was a lot of men making making comments about, oh, look at them looking like, saying just ugly stuff toward them. I think that some of them looked at that picture and said, man, I wish I had that.
Yeah. The little envy.
Yeah.
Will says, men have to know that it's okay to be human, to seek help. Mental health isn't an urban myth. And the James Evans of the 70s isn't healthy. Keeping all that grief, stress, anxiety, depression bottled up is only fanning a silent flame.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't throw it back in our face at the first disagreement. What you mean?
You know what?
You with the wrong person if that's what's happening.
Yeah.
No, let me be quiet.
No, well. Awesome. I think that when me and my husband got married, my husband had this really, really hard exterior. And I told him, like I said, I feel like me and my family loved him, like really, really loved on him and softened him up. There's still some hard edges to him, but they're not as hard. And there were things that he could share with me and be vulnerable with me and tell me things. And he can attest. We've been together for 9 years. I never throw anything back up in his face because I'm his safe space.
Have to be.
I'm his safe space, and he's my safe space. There's things that I had to share with him. He never throws anything back up in my face. And I think that's really good. And but a lot of us don't know how to be the safe space for for our spouse or whoever.
That's our own insecurities and our own trauma that we're dealing with and why we can't.
Yeah.
For anyone who can't, is something going on with them.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos says, I read a book years ago by Michael Baisden called Why Black Men Cry in the Dark. That book gives a deeper perspective on this subject. It sheds a light on everything we're talking about in this forum. I've never read that book. Have you read that book?
I remember he did write a book that was called that. Yeah. Yeah. I never read the book because I didn't think it was to me.
Oh, you thought it was just for, instead of thinking, oh, this might help me understand my man.
Oh no, I listened to him. I listened to my man. God, why did you make me laugh?
I'm gonna drink to that.
Me too. I do listen to my man. Ooh.
Y'all know what happened when you got the red cup.
Okay.
Oh man, that's my friend. I'm gonna stick by her.
That's right. So
David says, when I was younger, I got many whoopings. I bet you was bad. Oh yes. I was always told not to cry while I was getting punished with belts,
we always
boards,
told that.
etc. As I got older, I will always revert back to that feeling of not crying while feeling pain. Suppressing feelings, internalizing my feelings.
Oh,
That's something right there.
That was a break.
Listen, sir. Okay, I'm trying to get back on track. Where was I at? Okay. I can't find my way. Okay. I would act out, express my feelings by fighting in school, getting involved with things I shouldn't have. Now that I'm older, I understand the importance of releasing your pain. Sir.
And that's good. That's good.
You better not cry.
But I think we listen now. To be fair to your parents,
be fair then.
All of them, they all say you better not cry.
Okay, so cry. Is that generational? Is that a generational thing? Because obviously someone told them that, right? Yeah. Because you do what you know. Correct? Okay. Yeah. Now I got whoopings all the time too, but I didn't whoop my kids.
I got hammered.
I mean, when they got older, it was more of me just being crazy, but
you were scaring them with your words.
I was scaring them with objects. I had scissors. I'm gonna cut up every damn thing up in here. You want it?
The trauma.
Now you can't have it. That's something wrong. Don't mind me though. I've been working on me. Don't y'all say nothing about me.
So, can we all agree that it's okay for men to be vulnerable and men to cry? So how do we as a culture move past this? Man up, don't cry, don't do this. How do we move past that? How do we pour something different into this next generation of boys that are coming up?
Well, David says he's glad that he got the discipline because it made him the man that he is today. However, he's learned to parent in what he feels are more creative ways. So when I have to pick my phone up and get closer, because you know it's serious. Okay, Carlos says, it was totally opposite with me. My mother would whoop me and my brothers until we cried.
I'm sorry. You know what?
Did you hear him cry?
Yeah.
Which taught me that it was okay to release that internal pain.
Mary Lewis was down there beating. She had to have them bad boys. All of them were bad. Okay.
Put together.
Yeah. So again, I proposed this question to our audience. How do we as a culture change our outlook on how we raise our next generation of boys? And the thing is that even if right now you don't have any kids, you may get grandkids. You may have to be the mentor of another child. How do we help our boys know that they are still men?
What do you say to them? How do you formulate the words? What words are formulated? Like, what is it that you're communicating to the younger generation about emotions and expressing your emotions and all that good stuff?
And then I guess it's not even just our boys, because like I said, it's girls. Girls want this hard. I think somehow our view of what a man is was tainted because our view of a man is this strong black man that works all day, and I don't know. Our views are somehow, somewhere down the line, our view of what a man was tainted. So how do we come back from that? Because, like I said, we want men to feel safe with being a man and being able to be themselves, should I say?
Express themselves.
Yeah.
How whatever the mood is.
Yes.
That's good. That's real good. I like that. That's what we want to know. So y'all explain to us how.
Yeah. And I guess, like I say, I don't have any boys, so I don't feel like I'm a expert, so I would have to be taught things. Um, and I want to be taught that because I have a girl and girls, and I want my girls. I don't want my girls to think that one thing about it. I do know that my girls do not like rough boys. My oldest, she don't want a rough boy. She wants a gentleman, and I feel like I put that in her. I said, you don't want no thug.
I need a roughneck. Gotta get a
Why I
roughneck.
kept on thinking about that in my head. I promise you. I kept wanting to say roughneck, but then I kept thinking I'm gonna, it's like 90s. Don't say it more.
No, because everybody in here knows what you're talking about. Like, we got to remember our audience. We got to remember our audience.
That's right. So while y'all thinking about how we can fix our issue with the black men, let's talk about these women.
Okay, can we talk about the Serena Williams thing that you put up? And oh wait, hold on. Carlos says before. Oh, see, everybody's coming in now. So we was trying to move on, but we're gonna hold what we got. Just to read this. So Carlos says, unfortunately, social media plays a big part in how this new generation of boys and girls look at this topic. What do you mean? I need you to elaborate just a little bit.
Are you saying that social media plays a big part in how women look at men,
or how boys and girls? Because he says boys and girls, so I'm thinking he's talking about younger generation look at how men and women are supposed to act. They're using things like TikTok and Snapchat and all these other things, all these pictures. I don't know. I need you to explain just a little bit. Just pull us in the right direction.
Well,
because social media does have a profound effect on all generations. It's not just younger generations, because if you'll find yourself in your 40s, 50s, looking at social media and being influenced by something that's happening on social media. I mean,
but in our 40s, we're not going to be influenced by when we looked
whether it's good or bad.
But when we looked at that Michael B. Jordan, when they made that post about Michael B. Jordan being too feminine, you shared that with me, and we both was like, "What? No." So we're not going to be influenced by young kids.
Well, the influence here went a different way, because it just brought up the fact that we need to talk about the subject. But there were like thousands of people making comments on it, and just looking at the comments, and everybody goes, I'm here for the comments, because it's like entertainment for them to look, read, and laugh. So we're influenced, whether it's good, bad, indifferent way. We're all influenced by something that we see on social media, whether it's food. I'm influenced so I'm not just saying as Instagram models or anything like that. It's like so many different ways of being influenced. So we are, whether we want to admit it or not, influenced, even if it's seeing a preacher preach a word that we would have seen otherwise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's influences everywhere in the social media realm. Megan says, yes, social media is raising a lot of kids in their parents.
But does social media have an impact on how you view somebody's femininity or masculinity? For me, it does not. I
feel like the view is already there. The thing with social media is you're finding common people that has common thought process.
Yes.
Because even with that post, it was a whole bunch of people who was like, yes, and da 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 da. Yeah, I would never do. You would never see me all hugged up with a man like that. But they was just taking a picture.
But I think that, like you said, in social media, you can find more fools with you that agree with you.
Yes,
it's more people that share or you can find people that share your minds.
Like-minded people.
Like-minded people. Okay, I will agree with that.
Okay, Carlos says, we as parents can teach, coach, and mentor our children and fill them up with all the knowledge we know. But social media has a way of tainting all of that.
To a certain degree, I do agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, for instance, that it was a challenge where they would put boxes together and then walk up the boxes. Yeah. Now, we all know that that's not what you should be out there doing. But there was still people who would rather make a good video breaking their neck than to do the right thing and let it go.
Yeah.
Of course, it has an influence. It provides you images of a person that fits their narrative. And yours, I mean, when you think about not just someone else, you too, like they're pulling you in because it's something, right?
Yeah. So
that's the only way you can become an influencer.
To me, I feel like that means that so does social media destroy the what we think of our culture, what we think about femininity and masculinity? Now, let me tell you something. I think that a lot of stuff that we're like I said, we're all in our 40s. A lot of the stuff that we feel now, that stuff was etched and put inside of us when we were younger. And I feel like unless you a little slow, you can go. When you see stuff on social media, you don't have to believe everything. I just think that, and I think we're going down a rabbit hole too. So.
What? Will says you can take 100 pics lifting weights, running through brick walls, and it'll never surface. One picture with your legs crossed and you're feminine.
Exactly.
It is. Yes. I totally agree. It's the viral one.
Yes,
is the viral
and that's what I'm saying. I just so our takeaway, and like I said, we're gonna cross up into women because it's 7:38, and I know that we're so much tough on women because we're women, because I got a lot to say about this whole feminine, masculine, and stuff like that when it comes to women and men. But for men, I think it's like, yeah, we don't want them to be too masculine, then we don't want them to be too feminine. So what do they be? What do we want? What do we want? What do we want men to be? It's like for me, I like I said, I just think that we should normalize men going to get your toes done. We should normalize you going to getting a pedicure, manicure, you hugging another brother, you kissing your sons, you hugging your sons, all of that.
Carlos says a lot of the stuff we grew up saying can actually get you fired in today's society, this cancel culture. So he thinks it's a societal change.
Well, I'm glad I ain't got no boys. But
you do have girls. Let's get on the girls. Let's get on the ladies.
And my girls are going to marry a man. So I just pray and hope that. And let me tell you something. I done had 3 husbands, and the first one was real masculine, like man, macho man, Randy Savage. Then that second one was real feminine, and then this one is to me, I feel like he's more masculine, but he has, like I said,
he's in touch with.
Yeah, we done loved him to life. And that's how I look at it. And I for me, Michael B. Jordan is absolutely beautiful, and I love his, and what's that man's relationship? What's his name?
Jonathan.
I love their relationship. So
That is here.
Black men, hug your brothers, and y'all need to find an outlet that y'all can connect and be vulnerable and discuss things, because we have all kind of stuff. Okay. I can't stand him. I knew he was gonna say something. Okay.
Okay, so women.
I didn't.
So everybody knows that. So the picture that Marsha posted of Serena Williams and how they always talk about how manly she looks and how her attitude is of that of an angry Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
How
she's
does it?
Real mannish. She's out. People always
Yeah,
say
she's real manly.
Yeah, manly.
Because mannish is different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, do we like? Why is that the label she's given? Because when what's the one tennis male that will always get in fights with people and all? I can't think of his name.
I'm not a tennis person. But she made sure she said that when the other male tennis players throw down their rack, get in say things, they don't get a point taken away, they don't get anything. But she got upset and threw down her rack.
John McEnroe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's his name.
She immediately was, oh, how could she act like that? So
why is she so angry?
Yeah.
Why is the stereotype the angry Black woman or the mean, manly Black woman?
And I think we need to first understand, where did that title of angry Black woman come from? Where did it come from?
I don't know. I could not even tell you. I don't have the slightest idea of where it could have developed. But I think when women came into the workforce, and Black women came into the workforce, and they were given different titles, and they became in charge of people. I think that because the white male counterparts who did the same exact thing, they were, oh yeah. But when a Black woman does it, oh, why is she so angry? Why she's being such a bitch? That's the perception of her.
A lot of people always say that during, you remember when they were doing the war on drugs, I think it was
say no to drugs.
It was that time where that time frame when the government came in, and it's basically when the Democratic Party was established. Not saying nothing about Democratic Party
when they were established. I don't know.
Well, what I'm saying is that during that time is when they started offering government assistance and stuff
in the 70s, 60s, 70s.
Yeah, somewhere around there. And the thing is that a man couldn't live in the household to get to, for them to help the woman. And so a lot of people always say that when they basically took the male out of the household and then started putting them all in jail, that's when the dynamic of the Black family shifted. And that's when women had to start going to work. Women had to start taking on the role of the mother and the father. And then that's when I think that's the time when the angry Black woman whole phase started.
Okay.
That's what I think.
I don't know. I truly just don't have this. But it would make sense to come up with that, because like I was just saying, how once, we got into the workforce and we were in charge of stuff and we're making decisions and we're bossing people around.
But we're bossing households, we're bossing everything. So let me just tell you like this. I think that a lot of times, even for myself, people always they always associate with, they always think that I'm extremely masculine, which I am. I am very masculine. But I'm also very soft. I'm soft with my husband. I'm soft with people that are in my circle. But when I posting about being a boss or being strong, I am strong. And I think that those labels, when black women, there's this whole femininity movement. I went on TikTok. If you go on TikTok and put in feminine black women, there's this whole movement about women being more feminine. I agree with women being feminine. I do. Um, but I also believe that your journey was not the same as my journey.
Right.
And when I say I'm strong, it's because I've been through a lot of crap and I survived and I was strong enough to not die to it. And here you are, you ain't been through, I don't want to say you haven't been through anything, but you ain't been through a lot. And so you're like, well, you should be more soft and more feminine and more this and more that. You don't know the scars I have on my back.
But everyone has to approach their lives as it's handed to them.
Mm-hmm.
Every person won't be the same.
Yeah.
Every hustle isn't the same.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're doing it by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
it's even more of a, I got to get it because I can't fail.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come from a I can't fail mentality,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to be soft. You're
Yeah.
not going to be gentle when it comes to going to work because you are it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. Either I'm going to get this or I'm going to be hungry for the next 2 weeks or whenever I get paid again.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have the luxury to lean on someone else.
Mm-hmm. And even going back to Serena Williams, people don't know that Serena came straight from Compton.
Right.
Serena was black. She grew up with,
and being in a sport that black people just wasn't.
Yes, there was not a lot of people that she couldn't look around and see herself. And so there was a mental toughness that she had to have. And that mental toughness was, it to me, it looks like it was perverted to that, oh, she's angry. No, she has to be tough.
She's not taking any bull.
Yeah, and she can't let the same stuff that this person, she may go through this and that person may go through this, but her thing is going to be completely different.
The outcome is
completely different.
I get that. Carlos says most of the folks making these comments are envious of Serena's money, success, and to be honest, her body.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad to say, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Megan says, I've been called masculine because I can change tires and pick up things men should, but I came up with my granddad and uncle and boy cousins. But I'm definitely feminine when it counts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that matters.
And I was listening to this thing today.
You shouldn't be a damsel in distress all the time. I like being a damsel in distress. Please.
But I was listening to this thing today, and it said that not every man want a woman that is just so soft that she can't do anything.
Right.
But not every man wants a woman who's so tough as nails. You have to
have a balance.
You have to know what kind of partner you have.
Oh, well, yeah.
If whatever man that I know what kind of husband I have. I know that I can be a boss in them streets, but when I come to 1221, I gotta be his wife. I have to be his lover. But I also still have to keep a little edge to me because I help run a household. We are a team, and we're dead set on this whole teamwork thing. And
because teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly.
Come on now.
And
what happens when you're not a team, though? I mean, have you ever been in a situation where you felt like your team was failing in an area where you needed to, hey, come on, let's pick up this slack?
Yeah.
Like, so what happens when the team isn't cohesive?
So I think that, and I can only speak for my marriage, there are times when I have to take the lead, and but when I take the lead, I don't make my husband feel like crap because I took the lead. There are times when he has to take the lead, and I have to fall back. And when one is lacking in one, and one is lacking in one area, you're supposed to pick it up in the other area.
So if you're always soft, then you're never going to be able to pick anything up, right? Because I look at being the soft damsel in distress. You can't, like, you're not producing anything other than, you know, whatever he needs you to produce. There's no go get it, go out there and get it when you're.
But I think that's also a misconception about feminine women.
But I didn't say feminine. I'm just saying, like, if you're not strong and bossing, then you're soft and meek and waiting for someone to tell you what to do.
I think that is a stereotype, and right now I am defending you, femmes.
I just want to get her to talk about
it. I think that there's a stereotype. I think that women can be extremely feminine, but can also be able to assist their husbands. Now, you may call it something else. I call it bossing. But you can call it whatever you want to call it. Me and my husband, we good.
I absolutely love her.
We're good. But some people call it different things, and it's okay. But I'm telling you, when you get on go with the TikTok and pull up feminine Black women. They up there telling you, Black woman, you know, you've got to learn how to.
But they're influencing other women.
One lady, she made me mad. She was like, you have to make sure that you are cooking all of his meals and doing this and that.
Girl, bye. Don't mess around and be hungry. Fooling around waiting on me.
I said, I work 12 hours sometimes. But you want to know what I did today before I ran up here? I heard and cooked him a burger. Now, granted, one side of that burger was burnt up, but.
So does it mean anything if it's burnt?
Yeah.
What does it mean other than you burnt his food?
Dear God, it's here. So I want to bring it back to y'all. What are your thoughts about masculine and feminine women, Black women? Because I'm not going to lie to you. If you go out there in the world and you read stuff about us, we get a very, very bad rap. I'm talking about TikTok. It eats us up. Where Black men talk about they don't want to be with Black women because we too masculine. We too this. We're not that. But I think a lot of it is trauma. And you have all these little Black girls who have been through all this trauma and they have not healed from their trauma. And so they come off a little rough around the edges. I even seen one thing on TikTok where a man did say, he says, white women ain't been through all the trauma that Black women been through. So when you get with a white woman, she's just gonna love you, and it's gonna be she's happy. Versus this Black woman who done been through all this trauma, she questions everything. She needs to understand
her mama
why.
Go through it. She's seen her grandma go through it. She's seen her sisters, her aunts, her cousins. You see this. This is what shapes your brain.
Yes.
This is what makes you who you are. When you're going through things, it's going to tell you whether you're going to be the hard one or the soft one.
Yeah.
Carlos says, those good old-fashioned traditional women are extinct. Ain't no more barefoot and pregnant days. Ha ha.
Oh my God.
Not if he my man. Megan says, it's the black man fault also. There's a lot of men that try to dog you out.
I agree with I agree to a certain I think a few years ago or a year ago I told a story about my daddy. Like I said, my daddy was hard, and I he told me growing up, I don't need a man for nothing. And I've told our audience this before. And my first marriage, oh, I was hell, baby. I promise you. I could cut him down with my mouth because you
There's a
everything
difference
you do-
between a want and a need.
Yeah. Ooh, yes. And I didn't need him or want him.
Oh, Jesus.
So so my mouth, I got in a situation. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make the best of this. But he was rough and I was rough too. And when I got a divorce, I decided that I needed to heal from everything my daddy taught me. Even though it was good stuff, he taught me how to be tough and he taught me a lot of great things. But when it comes to my relationship with a man, I had to let some of that stuff die. So in my second marriage, I was extremely feminine. Now, this is the thing that most people would never believe. When I say extremely feminine, I was okay. Okay. I was that person. And then he kept doing things to me. And I turned into this other person. And I was rough. But my sister used to tell me, she says, I don't even know who you are anymore. I would go to work all day long, come home, Harry cook his food. He had a meal on the table every single day. I had to make sure I wanted him to be happy. I needed his love and approval. And he crapped on me. He crapped on me. And I was like, I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. So when I went through a space where right after me and him was going to get divorced, I was like bundled. And then when I got with Victor allowed me to be feminine and masculine, but he gave me a safe space. So I think for Black women, a lot of times we're looking for a safe space and we can't find that safe space in Black men.
David says he prefers balance. Jessica says Mike Tyson. Vic says, when it comes to us, you know how to turn it on and off.
Thank you, baby.
And you boss up when it's necessary. But only what I allow.
Is that what you said?
Yes. Oh. That's my brother right there.
Okay, baby.
Wait a minute. Carlos says, come on now, Meg. The same could be said about Black women, but that's a whole other topic. And he's referring to Megan's comment, it's the Black man's fault. Also, there's a lot of men that try to dog you out. She said there's a lot. She didn't say all. She said there's a lot of men, and I feel like that's pretty true. I mean, we haven't been in the dating pool in 50,000 years. She's in the dating pool, so she knows what's happening in her life, and she's only speaking from her experiences.
I think that
I think she's talking about your boy, Carlos. The one we won't stop calling cousin. Go ahead.
But I think that Black women, I I think that a lot of times when we are overly masculine, it's because we don't have a safe space. We don't have that security, because when we don't feel secure, there is another part of us that has to kick in.
Also, I'm just thinking about women who are driven by their careers.
Mm-hmm.
Like from the time they were in school, they knew what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
They went to college, they knew what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really have time for no man. So they focused on what they wanted to do, and that's the only thing they shot for.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now they're working, they're moving up in the ranks.
Mm-hmm.
In their career.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what that's what they have.
Mm-hmm.
That's their baby. That's their relationship, because they know that having an actual relationship probably won't work, because they're more dedicated to their career than they would be a relationship with the actual person.
And it's funny that you would mention it. So in 2000, in the years of 2000, Black women became the highest women, or the most women that went to college. We outnumbered white women. The only thing we were coming short under white men, but we were in college, and we were getting an education, and we were moving up the ranks in our jobs.
Well, that explains the reason why the only first lady to have a college education, like Black, was the Black woman, other than Hillary. So,
yeah, there was a point, like I said, right in the 2000s, where that Black women decided that we wanted an education, we wanted more, and the only way we was going to get that more is if we went back to school and got an education.
If you think about, so, because you said that, if welfare is a thing in the 80s when they actually was born, and they've came through life with no this and no that, their motivation is going to be different.
Yes.
So is it fair? Might not be, because we didn't do no statistics or anything. But from what was being said, it's like, okay, well, that resulted in this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole removal of this and taking away that, and watching their mothers struggle to ensure that their future was set.
But you watched your mama struggle, and all you kept telling yourself, I'll never be like that.
Right. I did. That was me. That was me. Even once she married, it was still the same. Like, is this what happened when you get a man? Because, you know, kind of one of those things of, no, this ain't the life I want for myself.
Do you think that you're feminine and masculine? Both?
I feel like I'm well balanced.
Okay, I agree.
I feel like since I got retired out of the military, I'm way more feminine. Because I remember a time when I was out in Iraq. Well, I'm not going to go there. But it was like, there was no feminine, nothing. I felt no feminine at all. No femininity.
Oh.
Let me go piss over here. Wait a minute, I'll be back. Yeah, so, yeah, a lot. I mean, but I've gone through stages.
And so when you got back, you had to tap into your femininity.
It was easy. It was easy.
So what would you tell, what is your message to Black women? Because like I said, if you go on TikTok, there's a lot of that people are saying a lot of things to Black women.
Do what makes you happy, boo. That's my thing I would say to them. Do what makes you happy. Everything ain't for everybody. Being submissive isn't for everybody. Being the meek, it isn't for everybody. Being the strong ain't for everybody. It's tough being strong. It's not easy being strong. It's not easy having to do things by yourself. It's not easy when you don't have to do them by yourself and you having somebody else with you. Everything is a struggle. Do whatever it is that's gonna make you happy.
But I think that hold on here. But hold on. I think that's easy for us to say. because we're married and we got a husband. What do you tell that single woman who is
Whether I feel like whether I was married or not, my mentality has been I feel that it's been pretty much the same.
to me it's different. To me it's different because I have
I
friends
know I
that
don't have to do stuff, but I do it anyway because I need to have me.
Mhm,
Anything can happen any given day.
mhm.
I still need to have me. If I'm not taking care of me, I can't expect nobody else to. Just like when I say if I'm not loving me, I can't expect nobody else to. But that's just me. Everybody, it's not the way I think don't work for everybody.
Mhm. Mhm.
Carlos says,
Mhm.
I think music and media plays a big part in this as well. The negative lyrics calling men dogs and women hoes. If you hear something and see something enough, it can manipulate.
Okay, I can hear my son playing. Okay.
I know when I saw that, independent women have a tendency to throw that word around, but really don't understand what it really means to be independent. I completely understand what it means to be independent.
I am interdependent. I know how to move independently, but I prefer to be dependent.
Right. I prefer, but I can do it by myself.
But with all seriousness, when I look at, I have friends that are single, and you have black men who they want to date black men, but a lot of black men are saying that they don't want to date black women because black women are now they're too masculine.
And it's too much work to drop that.
Yes. So what advice can we possibly give them?
I can't give anybody any advice on dating. I can't give anybody any advice on I can't give anybody any advice on nothing when it comes to traveling through life with a mate. I can only tell you what worked for Toya.
Yeah. And my thing is, and the reason why I say that is because you have a black woman, you're competing with, other women of different races or whatever. But the one thing that I have seen that I thought is absolutely beautiful is that black women are opening themselves up to other races. You know what I'm saying? Because for the longest, black women were taught to just love black men. But then there was this space where black men no longer only love black women. They loved all women. And we were left with a very, very small dating pool. But it seems like, and I'll give it to social media. So when I go on TikTok, all I see is all these black women with different races. It ain't just white. They have all different colors or races of husbands
The
and
rainbow
spouses
of people.
and I think that's beautiful
It
because
is.
for me, I don't
Love
want
don't have a color.
I don't want a black, yeah, exactly. Love does not have a color. For me, I don't want a single black woman out here pretending to be a feminine black woman just to get a man. Because now you have sent your representative. And then when you get in a relationship and the going gets tough, he found out that he married Hulk Hogan. You know what I'm saying? So I just
So your advice is don't send your representative.
my advice is to be who you are.
Don't send your representative.
Yes, be who you are.
Be all that you can be.
You don't have to. I think that black women should heal. Like I said, of all races, black women have the most trauma. We have secrets. We have all this different stuff going on the inside
Megan,
of us.
I believe you. She says she's going to have to step outside of her race.
Yes.
Sharita says be authentic.
Yes, be authentic. But Black woman, you got to heal. You have to heal, because I don't care whether that man is black, green, yellow. Don't nobody want no woman that is crazy and or
And we both use that word tonight. I think we need to stop.
Yeah.
Because we gonna get canceled.
You don't know Marsha, because I don't care. Because I'm gonna say what I want to say. I feel like, and I'm a Black woman though, and I love Black women. I tell people all the time, God called me to women. Black woman, you need to heal.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. I was gonna when I was talking about the drugs. David, he said some of these topics this evening were birthed because of the Reagan era.
Yes.
Criminal justice reforms where the Black community was targeted in the form of sentencing guidelines, laws, 3-strike laws, etc.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
The 3-strike laws. Wasn't that Clinton?
No, he was right.
It was Reagan.
Yes.
Where Black men were sent to jail, prison, leaving Black women to raise their families and fend for themselves. Overt and covert systematic racism runs deep. Researching it and understanding it will answer many questions. Okay. But Nancy Reagan, she came up with the just say no. Wasn't it?
I don't know.
Yes, Marsha, where are you sitting by me? You're supposed to know these things. That's your party. I know you know this. Time out.
You will not. You just go.
I'm sorry. Why did I do that?
You were being a whole mean girl. Angry Black woman. God.
Just say no. It was Nancy Reagan, right? Sharita. See, Sharita with me. I am older than you. I am a lot older than you, Marsha.
By a year.
So I know more than you. But that's the era where they were dropping drugs in our streets and then making us doggone pay for it because we want to go out and sell them and have a better life for ourselves. Yes, Nancy Reagan. See?
Okay. But I say this every single show. When we gonna get past it though? When are we? Like I said.
Yeah, they start using the little drug dog,
yes.
there to say no as well. Marsha, in order to heal, they have to stop playing the victim card. People cannot play the race card when it benefits them, but they do.
Okay, but I don't. Okay, listen. No,
when are we gonna get over it?
But I'm talking about healing. Black woman heal, meaning that, like I said, what everything that David just said. Black women were raising families. We having to work. We having to do homework. We had to be.
But that birthed all those women who went to college in the 2000s.
Yeah, you birthed these women that went to school in the 2000s, but you also but
there was a lot that was birthed with that as
yes,
well. Yes,
they the Webby women.
Yes,
Webby. I was a Webby woman, baby, because I promise you, I was showing in the club talking about
INDEP.
Yes,
yes.
I got my own car. I got my own house. Look, I promise you, I was.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pay for that song because we done said too many. But you birthed these women that were rock hard, and when you get with a man, we cannot let our guards down to feel secure and allow him to love us. And that's the part that I'm trying to say is that Black woman, we have to heal, because a man he wants you to be strong. He wants you to be, his rider, but he still also wants you to be soft. He wants you to be loving, and he don't want to have to tear down walls all the time. And a lot of Black men since she just said that, because there's a message that needs to go to Black men as well.
Mhm.
Stop making Black women have to put these walls up.
Yes. And that's what I'm telling.
So that starts with actually raising your children.
Yes.
Being there for them.
Yes.
Showing them positive things.
Yes.
Giving your daughters positive affirmations so they'll know that they are women and they are deserving of a good man.
Yes.
All these things go into that. It's not just women just be this. You can't just say be soft.
Yeah.
It's something that has to be birthed, just like that movement was birthed by the Reagans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
But you want to know something? And a lot of people think that it's just your kids. I look at you and Carlos. Y'all got 1,000,001 godchildren, and
I'm about to get about 6 of them back.
But I look at how just with G, how they are with G, how Carlos and Victor, they tell G she's pretty. She's smart. Girls need to hear that from the men that they call their daddies. They need to feel that protection. They need to hear, I'm smart, I'm pretty. So when they go out there and another man tells them, oh, you so smart, you so pretty, you this and that, it doesn't.
It's not. I know.
And then
thank you. I know. My dad and my guy dad tell me all the time.
Exactly. But then they don't hear it here. They go out there, they hear from this man who tells them for the first time, and then that man breaks their heart. Mm-hmm. And now they think that their beauty, their smartness, everything died with that man. When you are a woman who has a girl who has already heard that, when one man tell you that, it doesn't kill you. When he stopped telling you that, mm-hmm. you keep going on. That's what I'm talking about, healing. We got a bunch of girls who our daddies didn't tell us we were beautiful. We didn't do this. We didn't do that. We got a couple men, and it goes back to what Megan said. We went out there. We got with these men. Oh, you so pretty. You so fine. You this and that. And then he hurts us, and we're destroyed. Our beauty, our talent, and everything dies right with him. No.
So Carlos says Black men were doing the same, even kids that weren't theirs. So again, in order to move forward, you have to let go of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and hell, the 80s. You just got to let it go.
Amen.
Let go and let God have his way. Amen. So now that we're at 1 hour and 18 minutes.
Maybe this is good. And I'm still not through, because look here.
We're gonna have to send this over to next week or something. We could finish the conversation on next week and then start our new conversation.
But I don't think that we're gonna ever. I don't think this is
because it's an ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
And until there are programs put in place like the DARE program, Dare to Keep Kids Off Drugs, just say no. David says there's a saying, it takes a village. Where are many of these villages today? They're gone. What happened to them? Some still exist, however, not enough. That's exactly. At some point, we have to stop playing the blame game. Yes, but I feel like it's going to take men that care enough to go and be big brothers and big sisters, and go and mentor people, start programs, mentoring programs where they can bring kids in and teach them how to be gentlemen, teach girls how to be ladies. Until programs like this are put up in every city, there isn't a blame game. It's just the fact of no one is teaching anyone anything other than being angry.
Accountable. That's it. Being accountable. We have to be accountable for each other. If we
live in villages of Fox Hollow, what I mean? Don't be putting people out there where we live at. We're looking for a house. What I mean though? I'm confused.
Oh, he said there ain't no villages. And they go say we live in the villages of Fox Hollow. Hey, that's your husband. That's your husband. That's your husband. He said,
That's not funny.
He said, "We are his villages. We live in the villages of Fox Hollow." I
What
get
that
it.
mean? No. Oh well. We have a village. I love talking to people's kids. I love trying to direct them in a positive, a good place.
Mm-hmm.
And when they go against what I tell them, I just look at them like, well, I already told you. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
What do you do from here? So had you did what I told you, then we wouldn't be here. But since we are here, hopefully you'll listen to me this time and how I tell you to get out of this rut. Kids don't listen to shit. Oh, did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
My bad. Okay.
All
It's
right.
1 hour, 20 minutes, 21 minutes. Okay. Y'all, this has been an amazing conversation.
It has.
And
What was your takeaway?
we need to be a village.
Okay.
We need to create our own village in the Black Wealth Ambassadors group, where we come up with some type of program, some mentoring, something that we can help spread love versus divisiveness and toxic stuff. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
You know what?
You like that, didn't you? No, but seriously, that was the takeaway. We need to figure out something. And I know with all these Black Wealth Ambassadors, we can come up with something.
Yes. All right, y'all have a wonderful night, and make sure y'all join us next week for some wonderful conversation on
Let's talk about it. Good night,
Peace.
y'all.